Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today I'd like to share with you how I have my Luxe sewing station set up. Now, this sewing station is designed for sewing machines, so it has everything in mind as sewists that we need, and there's some great things for embroidery and for quilting. Now, this table is made from Horn of America, and it's made exclusively for the Bernina sewing machines. But you can get lots of these tables for your own sewing machine, and I'm sure this one would fit other sewing machines as well. I did choose the white model because I do like that crisp, clean look. It is very, very smooth, and one great feature is, of course, that it closes up so it looks really nice. So if you want this in any room of the house, you can. And if you need to move it, we do have wheels. So these wheels will let us move this table wherever we need it to move to. The wheels are lockable. So once we get it into the area you want, we can lock those wheels if we choose to. So the table looks nice just the way it is, but it does open up quite large. There is an area along the side, so this just lifts right up, and there's a little leg underneath, and we just swing that over, and that stays. So this really makes that table nice and long. There's also a lift up along the back. It goes the same way as this side did. So I can just lift up that back, and there's little legs that just slide right over. Now it is even a bigger station. So this is already a big, beautiful surface to work with. So if we're not going to sew, we could use it for other things as well. But when we need to sew, we're going to be able to take that sewing machine out. I'm going to be leaving my table set up, and I'm going to leave it set up to the full length and width. So I have a little unit right there in the corner, and you'll see those little mannequins with my scissors on it. That's going to fill in this little area here. So if I leave this open, I'm going to have that little piece filled in. It's a little lower, but it's great for my tools. So let me get that right into place. And with that little corner piece, it looks like I have one big table. So we have this little tabletop that we're going to be able to remove, but we're going to be able to open this up and make it even bigger. So that little unit slides open, and you can see how great those wheels are. There's a little clip in this corner that you're going to be able to lift out, and it fits right in place with this extra arm. So it's going to give this a little bit more support, and it's going to prevent this from sliding where we don't want it slid. Then this other piece is going to lift up, slide over, and it hooks on. And there's a little hole where the plug fits in. So this is very, very secure. It's not moving all over the place. So now you can see that I have my machine underneath. And it definitely keeps it out of the way when my grandchildren come over. I can lift up this top piece, and there's a spot in the back that I can put this in. Also in this back section, I do have an acrylic tabletop, another extension that goes on this drawer. I'll show you that in a second. And there's still room in that back compartment for extra acrylic tables and the original tables that came with the machine. There's also a power bar in the back. So there's power that is running right to this station. So my machine is not plugged outside of the table, it's plugged inside of the table. And with that power, I do have a lift that I'm going to only need a finger to lift up my machine. There's just a little light switch here, and I'm going to push it down, and well, that's it. And she's going to be able to come up to the height that I need. And you can see I've just stored stuff in there until I've brought it up to what I want. I can bring it up all the way, and this is going to give me the opportunity to use the embroidery modules or the free arm. If I'm not using the free arm or the embroidery, and lower it, so my acrylic tabletop replaces that wood top. And it fits right in. And I can continue to bring up my machine. So now it's all level. This little extra piece will make it so if I need to do some quilting, or I'm putting binding on a quilt, or I'm working with something large, we have those little pegs that fit in. And now my work surface is even bigger. If I'm not needing this, it's easy. I can take it off, and it stores right on the back. I keep my foot pedal right here so that it doesn't get in the way as I'm moving the table. It goes down, and I'm ready to go. And because I have power right here, I can just turn it on. There's a couple of extra plugs, so if I want to put something else like a light, I can do that. So let me give you a closer look at what is inside. On the right-hand side, we do have 3 good-sized drawers. Because I know that I will be using that top counter a lot, I didn't add a lot of my notions in this top drawer. I did add a small mat and cutter that I like to just keep out right by my machine. And in this area, I have extra sewing machine needles and things to clean and maintain my machine. So then my next drawer, I'm going to have more with just those notions that I want. And these are larger notions that I don't use all the time, but I still need often. I'll pull out my pins and anything else that I need, so I have that right there. The next drawer is a nice big deep drawer. I'm going to be able to hold manuals and anything else that I need that's larger. And these drawers have that soft close feature. Also on the right hand side, we have this little area that we're going to pull out. Let me show you from the other side. Because I do have an embroidery machine, I do have this very large module. So this is designed to fit that module. So I don't have to worry about it getting damaged or having to find an area to store it. And I have an area here for my hoops and all the extra accessories. It closes up and it tucks quite far in so that it stays out of the way. So then to the left of my machine, I have another little area that I can pull out. So we have these nice little handles here that we're just going to be able to pull everything out. These are magnetic trays that I'm going to be able to store some tools in. Then along the bottom, I have a rack for my threads. Now I do all sorts of sewing, so I have all different types of threads. The top are threads that I'm in the middle of using, and on some of these pins, I've added some of my notions for my sewing machine, like my spool caps. So I've layered my thread in different weights. So I have my polyester threads and the needle that I like to use with this thread. I have a lighter thread, the needles that I like to use with that, even a lighter thread, and the needles to use that thread with. And this just slides right back in, out of the way. So the most unusual feature with this table is this hole. And this hole is actually designed for our hands and our embroidery hoops. We take our embroidery hoops, we put our fabric and our stabilizer on them, then we put this in and we have to try to tighten this and hold everything together. Well, this gives us a helping hand. These two little teeth hook right into this unit, and it locks in. So now I'm going to be able to put my fabric on, my stabilizer, and I get my hand from underneath. We're going to be able to work with one hand up at the top, and our second hand works from underneath. Now we can lift that up and bring it right to the machine. And it does work with different size hoops. Now, saying that, it doesn't mean that we need to use that hole for that purpose. I suppose we could put a garbage underneath there and just drop our garbage in, or we can use this as a platform. This is very strong, so it will take the weight of another machine. And it will fit a machine like my serger or even a small other machine. And if you don't want to use this catch basin, guess what? That definitely will catch a lot more than this little basin. With or without, I do have options. I could also put a small board or something else over top this if I don't want to use that hole. I do like to have a little garbage container beside my machine. This is just a magnetic suction hook, so that can go on there. And for my feet and accessory, I do have this beautiful acrylic box and has these beautiful real roses inside, and a pull-out tray. And I've organized this tray to have all of my feet, bobbins, and everything that I'm going to need to sew on my machine. And it closes up and it looks nice. So I can leave this out even when I put my table away. Under this acrylic table, I do have my enders and leaders, and I do have a little glass jewelry box that fits inside there. I have my walking feet and some of the larger feet that do not fit in my drawers, but I do use them all the time, and they kind of look nice. So I have a compact yet large work surface. I have an area, if I want the weight of extra fabric, I can use it, or I don't need it, or I can use it for some other small tools. I have my machine, my tools, and another machine, all right within this U shape. And I have that size that I need. And I think that's one of the important things that we need when we're sewing, to have everything handy, to be sitting comfortably, and to make sure that our surface is big enough so that our fabric and projects are not hanging over the edge of the table. That hanging over pulls on the needle, which causes stitches that are not as nice and just causes a lot of headaches. I do hope you've enjoyed my new sewing space, and thank you for asking to see it. And thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I do have a newsletter. I'll put it all in the description below. Thanks again. Bye for now.